Julie on the host show, please salute. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us in Hollywood on the last Monday night of football this season. Oh man, there were a lot of great games this weekend. If you could find them, one game was on Amazon, one game was on Fox, another game was on CBS. There was a game on NBC, and tonight the game was on ABC. It's too, I feel like I'm going through concussion protocol. It's too much. What I do now is I just put the TV on one channel. I sit down and hope for the best. Did you watch the games, GMO? Yeah, Jimmy, all the weekends. Yes, you did. It was an exciting weekend. The Niners upset the Eagles, which means we're going to have a brand new Super Bowl champion. Our team's here in Los Angeles. The Chargers petered out, but the Rams won a good one. The biggest surprise of the weekend was Tom Brady in a Pizza Hut commercial. I guess they're trying him to move those wild salmon and legume fay flavored breadsticks. And the main event was the showdown between the Green Bay Packers and their arch rival Chicago Bears. The Bears were down 18 points at the half by 11 with 7 minutes to go. They came back to give Green Bay a real kick in the dick. The Bears scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. It is the first time the Bears have beaten the Packers in the playoffs since 1941. Is their first playoff victory in 15 years. And the fans watching at home, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Sadly, that gentleman is no longer with us, but I have to believe that is how he would have wanted to go. Man, how many Stanley insulated cups does one family need? There are now 8 teams hoping for the Lombardi Trophy and 1 president angling for a Nobel Prize on Thursday. Donald Trump will meet with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado. Machado is the woman who won that Nobel Peace Prize. Trump felt he should win. He was mad. And she got nervous, so she dedicated it to him. But I guess that wasn't enough because he chose not to back her to be the next Venezuelan president when he kidnapped the other one. Reports say he wanted her to give her Peace Prize to him, which sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke. And she went on Sean Hannity to offer to give it to Trump, which resulted in this rare and ridiculous statement from the Nobel Institute. They wrote, "A Nobel Prize can neither be revoked nor transferred to others. Once the announcement of the laureate has been made, the decision stands for all time. As for the prize money, the laureates are free to dispose of it as they see fit. In that case, I'm sure Trump will take the $1 million. But I guess Trump's not paying attention. He said it would be a great honor if Machado gave him her Peace Prize. He really, really wants this. If she gives you her Nobel Peace Prize, will that change your view about her running that country? I think it's very nice. I've heard that she wants to do that. I think it's very nice. I've heard that she wants to do that. That would be a great honor. I did put out 8 wars. You should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stop. You should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stop. Norway, is very embarrassed by what took place. It's been a major embarrassment to Norway. That's where the committee is located. I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me. And I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled. Obama got the Nobel Prize. He had no idea why. He still has no idea. He walks around, he says, I got the Nobel Prize. Why did he get a Nobel Prize? You know, when you put out 8 wars, in theory, you should get one for each war. But, I don't care about that. Right, it's not on his mind at all. Doesn't care about that. You've brought up this Nobel Prize more times in one weekend than you've mentioned your daughter. Tiffany in 10 years. How strange and sad and dumb this is. I mean, imagine if George Clooney held a press conference today demanding Timothy Chalamet's Golden Globe from last night. The guy just invaded Venezuela and Minneapolis, and he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. 5 Republican senators joined Democrats on Thursday in a vote to limit the president's war powers. He went into Venezuela with no approval from Congress. Over the weekend, he called and screamed at the 5 Republicans who voted on this. That's That's how he operates. If he doesn't get what he wants, he starts calling people like the world's angriest telemarketer. Trump has been boasting about this plan for American oil companies to now invest bigly in Venezuela. But that hit a little bit of a snag because according to the CEO of ExxonMobil, the country is uninvestable. Turns out Venezuelan oil is thick, dirty, and of low quality. And of course, Trump's like, well, then we'll just call it Trump oil and say it's the best. It's the best oil in the world. People will buy it, right? It's so perfect as he invades a country for their oil without doing any research into what it would take to extract that oil or what it's worth, or if American companies would even be interested in the oil. Now, these oil company executives, they have to figure out what to do. Trump hosted a bunch of them at the White House on Friday. This is good. Now Marco Rubio wants Trump to, I guess, focus on Chevron. So he tries to smoothly slide him a note with Trump. Immediately reads aloud, "You're all going to do very well. I think really very well. Marco just gave me a note. Go back to Chevron. They want to discuss something. Go ahead. I'm going back to Chevron. Thank you. Was there a question, Mr. President? Yes, go ahead, Marco. What do you say here? He'll read anything you put in front of his face. It's Don Berge strikes again. He's Rubio. He took the note back. He folded it up and tucked it away, just like he's done with his balls. And then now, this is something special. This is where the president really sets in. He's in a meeting with oil executives, right? And he starts talking about his big, beautiful new ballroom. He just gets up and goes to the window and starts looking at it. Watch this. We have many others that were not able to get in. And I said, if we had a ballroom, and if you look, come to think of it, well, I got to look at this myself. Wow, what a view. This is the door to the ballroom. What a job. Unusual time to look. I think that's right. Yes, welcome to another edition of What If Joe Biden did that. Can you imagine? But at least he hasn't forgotten the number one threat facing this country today. We have not approved one windmill since I've been in office, and we're going to keep it that way. My goal is to not let any windmill be built. They're losers. That's right. Windmills are losers. They've always been losers. What a weird and random thing to be obsessed with. What it would make just as much sense if he hated Ferris wheels. It's nuts. It's almost as nuts as threatening to invade Greenland. Right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. I would like to make a deal, the easy way. But if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. Well, I spoke to Melania, and she says you can't do anything the hard way anymore. So, by the way, this invading Greenland idea might be Trump's least popular yet. Yeah, a new poll from YouGov says only 8% of Americans support taking Greenland the hard way. And those people are all crazy people. Greenland has been part of Denmark since the 1700s. We're now just going to take it. I hate to break it to you guys, but we the shining beacon of democracy America, we are the bad guy now. Remember the good old days, and people from other countries, they thought we're annoying because we talk too loud, and we were cut off shorts into museums, and we do chest bumps and wear fanny packs into the Vatican, and sometimes we go to Paris and say, you're welcome for the war. Well, now they hate us for real stuff. Our neighbors hate us. Mexico's mad at us. Canada's mad at us. We're like where that house at the end of the blog the nice old lady used to live, and then her son-in-law moved in, started letting his dogs run wild and biting children. If this was a movie, this country was once the Karate Kid. Now we're Billy Zabka. Our president literally is Biff from Back to the Future. And you know who Canada is? This guy, our single most valuable import. We're a rogue state now. Do you know what that means to be a rogue state? I don't either, but that's what we are. We've gone rogue. Denmark has threatened to shoot first at American troops if we invade Greenland. Denmark's threat. The people who make butter cookies are threatening to shoot first. We used to be Superman, and now we're this guy. We're the character that dies in the movie, and the whole theater yells, yeah, Emperor! Palpatine Hands is going after anyone who dares rebel against the empire right now. The Department of Justice just launched a criminal investigation into the sitting chairman of the Federal Reserve because Trump doesn't like his interest rates. Jerome Powell, you can see he is here with the president. Back in July, looking like the two saddest members of DVO. They have been out. You know we're in trouble when they start coming for the old white banker guys. That's when the nucleus of Jerome Powell's supposed crimes against America is that Trump's people claim he mismanaged the renovation of the headquarters of the central bank. And if there's one thing Donald Trump will not stand for, it's a renovation project that goes over budget. He is Kyle says that this investigation it's an intimidation and it's punishment for not lowering interest rates in the way Trump wants him to. Trump says he didn't know about the investigation and has nothing to do with it, which is also what he said about Eric. And then we have Trump's ongoing war against Minneapolis, where his response to the intense outrage following the killing of Renee Good by an ICE agent is to send in even more ICE agents. Because when you're trying to put out a grease fire, what do? You throw more grease on it, right? Thousands and thousands of patriotic Americans took to the streets over the weekend in various cities. Washington, Salt Lake City to peacefully protest, applause, and exercise their First Amendment rights while we still have First Amendment rights. In Minneapolis, they turned out in 16 degrees. The head of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, she doubled down again. She said, Renee Good was a domestic terrorist. This is what they want us to believe. They need to paint anyone who protests as violent and dangerous. Even a mom in a Honda. They need Antifa to be real so they could call in the military and cancel elections and declare martial law. And ironically, while the White House is trying to squash the protests here, the Ayatollah is said to be mulling over a military strike on Iran to support the protesters there. From atop his golden toilet, he posted, "Iran is looking at freedom, perhaps like never before." The USA stands ready to help. What is he talking about? Is anybody gonna ask that question? Mr. President, what are you talking about? That should be the only question anyone ever asks him. He learned Minnesota 3 times. You won Minnesota 9 times. But he feels like he won. And that's what's most important, what you feel in your heart. What's happening in Minneapolis is very dark stuff. It's very scary. But there has been one bright spot. People on the street have been shooting videos of ICE agents slipping on ice. Now, there aren't a lot of them. Laughter. But we do have pretty good